What's up, guys? Welcome to the SoundCentric podcast. I'm Samuel Sarfo,
I'm Adam Dash.
and thank you guys for tuning in for this week's episode. It's September. It's finally fall, which to me is the best season. My birthday's in September. Hey, the
Hey,
best signs are in September. Shout out to all the Libras out there.
it's your
I
Jordan
finally
year.
got what Jordan year? Michael Jordan?
It's your Jordan year, yeah. 23, right?
Oh shoot, you're right. Now, I feel so
Yeah.
old now. Like, is it just me, or do birthdays not like hit you as much anymore? It's kind of like,
I
oh, it's
don't
my
fuck.
birthday.
I do
It's
not
like
fuck with my birthday. I
it's
do
like
not.
whatever. It's like whatever, honestly. But I know last week we were talking about how J.Cole and Kendrick obviously have their special interviews, and Rob mentioned the what's his name again? Oh, I can't remember if I forgot his name. Something Commander Boots, something Boots. I don't want to butcher it. J.Cole interview with. Do you know who
Wait,
I'm talking about? The one I sent you.
you just kind of lagged out, so I missed what you just said.
What was the interview that I sent you
Oh,
with J.Cole?
Combat Jack.
Combat Jack,
Combat Jack,
rest
yeah.
in peace. He passed away. I finally saw that interview, him and J. Cole, and that was one of the
Yeah,
interviews Rob recommended. That was one of J. Cole's
yeah.
big
I haven't watched
interviews.
it in a
I've
minute.
never seen you haven't seen have you seen it though, right?
Yeah, I mean years ago.
Yeah, and that's really the first time, apart from the Angie interview, that he's done something like really personally,
Long
really talked
form.
about himself. And it was really incredible. Am I still lagging? Am I good?
You're good. You're good.
All right, cool. So start this off, I want to know your top 5 J. Cole tracks, and then I'll share mine. I know J. Cole's your favorite rapper of all time, but
Okay.
you share yours.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard off the top.
Hmm.
All right, number one is Change.
Good song.
Okay, I'm not sure the rest will be in order. The rest is just gonna be like what I can
That's
think
fine.
of.
Order is way too hard. I can never do anything in
Yeah.
order.
For Your Eyes Only
Hmm.
song. That's like the best. It's like one of my favorite storytelling songs ever. Like the ending of
Mm.
it. Oh,
Yep.
it's so amazing. Let me think. Back to the topic from Friday Night Lights. Carolina
Nice.
Blue kicks pedal to the metal.
Hmm.
Feeling like the puppet in the devil is your pet. I love that. Let's see what we got. Firing Squad.
Good one.
Uh,
Amazing. My God.
all jokes contain true shit. Same rope you climb up on and hang you with, but
Hopefully he
not your
can
name.
rap
My
like
aim
that
too sick.
on his upcoming project. He can rap like that. I
Yeah,
missed that. I mean, we got a little bit of it on the off season,
yeah.
so hopefully he just keeps it up.
That's okay. So that's four.
Hmm.
Uh, maybe the climb back. The climb back
Okay.
might be like his most impressive rapping
Hmm.
like skill. But My Life's a great song.
Hmm.
Trying to think of like shout outs I can give. Give yours. And that's really
All
hard
right.
to do.
Okay, mine is from the Sideline Story. It's Sideline Story. That song
Yeah.
means so much to me, and that was J. Cole's first mainstream albums. And hearing that song really hit me. Number two is Rise and Shine, also from that album as well. Oh my God, that might be probably my all-time favorite J. Cole
Really?
song.
Okay.
He is rapping his life. He is rapping so hard, like his life depends on it on that track. For three, Born Sinner. I love Illuminati.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite Cole tracks. Of course, he
You
has
said,
that whack bar. I see you smiling.
yeah. And,
I
and
see
I
you
don't
smiling.
and I don't mean blank whenever I say blank, okay, blank? Don't get so
I,
sensitive.
I know, but he's going hard, and I love the
He
beats.
does
Sometimes
go
I
hard.
brag like Hove. Number four is gonna be Land of the Snakes on Born Sinner as well. I
Great
know I'm picking a
song.
lot of oldies. Land of the Snakes, man, that vibe, and it's kind of crazy because I heard that song first before I heard
Before
actual the
yeah,
Aquemini track, the art of
yeah,
storytelling. But I
yeah.
still prefer Land of Snakes way more. And my fifth
That's
track,
the
man, obviously is what you gonna say?
I mean that's just like the fun part about hip hop. Like there's so many
Hmm.
songs that I'm like, oh, that wasn't their beat. Like that was a 90s beat. It
Hmm.
like helps you discover that shit. So
Facts,
yeah,
it
I
really
probably
is.
heard that before Aquemini too.
Mhm. And my last one is gonna be has to be Love Yours. Love
It's
Yours
great.
is so good, man. And I love Saint Tropez as well. Honestly, give me the whole 2014 Force Drive album, and I would take that to my island if I was stuck
Yeah.
there. That's the album I would take with me.
I also love if you ever listen to the what's the Truly Yours mixtapes by Cole?
Yep.
Like Cole Summer is a great song.
Mhm.
Uh Man, there's so many. Immortal on For Your Eyes Only. I really
Oh
like
my
For Your Eyes
God,
Only.
Immortal's so good. For Your Eyes Only is my second
Yeah,
favorite J. Cole album.
that's
And
really
also,
good.
quick shout out to it would have cracked my top five, but Simba, Young Simba from his first
Yeah.
mixtape. I forgot what the mixtape is called.
Comeback
The
come
Comeback.
Yeah, the comeback season?
Yeah, the
Comeback no, wait.
comeback season.
Yeah. Or
It's
Come Up?
insane, and he has
Yeah.
maybe
I
it's
can
the
picture
come
the
up.
cover
Yeah,
in my
the
head.
come up. Yep, and he has this music video for that song, and it's him so young, just rapping
Yeah, in the
like
streets, yeah.
Logic back in the streets, amazing. So it just gives
Yeah.
me that like 2000s
You know what?
esque era.
So we had that TikTok that blew up about rappers reusing bars, and
Mhm,
Logic has like so much music out that he keeps
mhm.
releasing like unreleased songs. But his fans were tweeting,
Yeah,
they're like, "Yo, you already released this song. Like this isn't unreleased." And he said, "Pulling strings like Geppetto." I'm like, that's another line he says a lot. He
yeah.
says like pulling strings like Geppetto is
What
too
was the
much.
gun to what's the verse on Gang Related? And he's like, that fast verse, the
I can do the whole
Beretta,
thing.
he says Beretta so many times, Beretta
Yeah,
this,
get
Beretta
down and lay
that.
down, hit you with the Bavetta, you better stay down, straight shots in the playground, living how I'm living with the let that I'm giving anybody that's riding with me, riding with him, show the enemy, and I'm hit him a second, a bit to get him, hit it with the venom, hit it, pretend
Hey.
I'm never do it, and do it. I used to practice that because I wanted to go on stage for the
Yep.
concert
Yeah, no,
because he
man,
used to bring people up for that.
Logic is one of my favorites of all time, but I won't lie, I haven't been keeping
He loves
as
Beretta.
he loves Beretta, but I haven't been keeping as much of a tab on him just because he's been releasing a lot, and I feel like it's just getting too much, like and I love the
Yeah,
unreleased thing, that's awesome, that's incredible, like, to be able to see how you sounded like in your early days and
yeah,
also to give inspiration to other up and coming artists, but he's just been dropping, like, a lot for fun, and that word "fun," that's cool, I'm happy you're having
yeah,
fun, but because it's fun, it might be affecting the quality just a little bit, which I'm not interested in. I'm trying to hear you rap for your life,
yeah.
that's one of my favorite parts about Logic, but hey, it is what it is. But hey, it's a new week. You know the drill. What's your leading single and playlist title?
It is "Patiently Waiting" by 50
Mhm.
Cent because we are patiently waiting to get a job because I have an interview after this podcast.
That's crazy. What's your leading single? Same song, title
Same
and
song, yeah,
song?
we go.
That's
Yeah, we'll go
hilarious, bro.
patiently.
That's a nice,
Yeah.
combination right there. So, '03 and '02 Eminem is, to me, one of the best
Peak.
rappers of all time, if not the. In 1 year, he dropped The Eminem Show, the 8 Mile soundtrack, which had the leading single "Lose Yourself," one of the greatest rap songs of all time, and
Yeah,
3, he was a lead, actor in one of the best rap films of all time, right?
yeah.
Goated, but you're still picking The Eminem Show over the Marshall
I'm
Mathers
still
LP?
picking so, I mean, like, dude, he started so strong with "Kill You, Then Stand," so you have, like, debatably, like, the biggest hip hop song of all time. Question I always had about Marshall Mathers LP is the song "I'm Back." I feel like that should have been the first song of the album.
Nah.
It's like, "I'm Slim Shady, I'm back,
But the
I'm back." Like,
transition, right? The transition between the 2
yeah,
tracks, I forget, it's I'm Back and what
remember
else?
it's remember. Something about the album, the beats are better for me, the
Mhm.
songs are more interesting to me. The only song I mean,
Crazy.
Kim is probably the most uncomfortable song to
Of
listen to
course.
ever.
Mhm. Warranted.
Yeah.
I'm surprised,
Like,
man. I look at the track
screw
list for
how do you
Eminem Show, and it's not even close. For me, Eminem Show is a clear winner.
that's
Better songs. Maybe you can say I don't even think so. I think Eminem's rapping is
I think his rapping
polished.
I think he's more mature, I
Okay,
guess, on the
fair.
Eminem Show,
Mhm.
but he's so captivating on the Marshall Mathers LP? Yeah,
Yep.
Marshall Mathers LP. Oh, it's so good. The Way I Am, what a
Mhm.
song. Real Slim Shady, Remember Me,
True.
I'm Back.
This title is gonna be again September. I'm happy that it's fall. Fall is my favorite season, and the leading single is gonna be "Nights" by Frank Ocean. I've been listening to a lot of Frank Ocean recently for inspiration, and "Nights" is a
Probably his
crazy
best
great
song.
song. It is. I think that's my
Rolling
favorite song off
marijuana,
Blonde.
that's a cheap vacation, and the beat switch,
Mhm.
just so
That's
that's the best
crazy.
thing ever.
Man,
You ever
hopefully we
have
can get
someone
some.
showing someone that song, they start talking
Mhm.
during the beat switch, like, "Yeah, stop talking for a second, just let this drop."
Hopefully we can get more collab between him and, Tyler, and hopefully Tyler drops soon and we can get some,
Yeah.
like, Odd Future stuff. I miss them. All of them are really
Low-key,
talented.
his deluxe album, I think, is still, like, my probably top 8 of the year,
Oh, the
definitely.
B-side for,
Yeah,
what's the album
it's
called?
really good.
Mhm.
Call Me If You Get Lost.
Call Me If You Get Lost, yep. But, back to what we're talking about with J.Cole, right? And we're talking about how we sampled the art of storytelling. This is a great segment,
Yeah,
to dive into about Olivia Rodrigo. So recently she did an interview with, I believe it was Variety, and she was talking about the situations she occurred to have during her previous project, Sour. If you don't know what happened, essentially she lost a majority of her money because of copyright infringement. One for, Good For You, a song was everywhere,
yeah,
had interpolations of Paramore's, um, I can't believe I'm forgetting the song, Misery Business. And
yeah.
also her song as well,
It
Deja
is
Vu, had interpolation for Taylor Swift's song Cruel Summer. And it's kind of like complex of what exactly happened. Apparently they tried to reach out beforehand, like one on one to make sure it was cool.
yeah,
Of course, labels found out, I'm like, we need that money. But whatever happened,
yeah,
right? That's all drama. The fact is that both those songs lost 50% to each individual team. So that means she was just left with the extra 50%. Well, she's not even
yeah,
getting because she needs to divide it up for a team. So that's where occurred to me, like, when it comes to sampling, how should artists go about it? Whose fault is it? Is it the label? Is it the artist?
Yeah,
And I feel bad for her. She lost, like, millions, millions with an S of
yeah.
dollars.
I'm honestly surprised. I feel like Paramore would be, like, the cool group to be like, "Oh, like, this younger girl is, like, inspired by us, like, yeah, let's
Mhm,
let her rock."
mhm.
But J.Cole does a whole rant on Note to Self at the end of 2014,
Yeah.
where he goes in a whole spiel about samples and how it's
Mhm,
fucked up. He's like, "If you put your music into the world, you should let other artists use it."
mhm,
So on one hand, I get it, but I guess if you're an artist and someone's using your lines, you want to agree with their music. If you're like a country singer and a rap artist is
mhm.
using your music in a very violent song, you might say, "Hey, I don't want them to use this song." But I mean, I love samples so much, so I'm pro just let the artist cook. Let them use the
Yeah.
samples.
Let the artist cook. I agree. I
Let them
think so
cook.
too. It's so tough because, like, even I know you're about to say it as well. Good for you really sounds really familiar with
It does.
it
Yeah,
does, right? But I think at the same time it's like that period, that era has already happened. You made a bunch of money from that song already.
yeah,
Do you really need to attack this new artist who added her own flavor to it just because it sounds similar and it has the same
yeah.
chord progressions? And I know Ed Sheeran recently, right? He got sued by the Marvin Gaye estate and he luckily got
Yeah,
off,
but he
but that
won.
would have yeah,
Yeah.
he won. Yeah.
And I know Sting is known to be someone who charges the most for his
She
samples. So
Juice
there's,
World.
like Juice there's a story with so I forget the name of the song, but P. Diddy's song that tributes Biggie after Biggie passed
Yep.
away uses
Yeah, The
Sting,
Police.
and apparently he gets paid, like, $15,000 every day for
Mhm.
for that song.
Oh
Apparently, he
my
takes, like,
god.
95% or maybe 100% of the song. Like, certain artists are known like, if you're gonna use that person's song, they're gonna take the whole thing, and
That
other artists are
is
chill, and they let them use it.
do you not think that's a little bit extreme?
Yeah, I think it's extreme.
Shout out to Sting, though. I love The Police, one of my favorite bands of all time, but
Yeah.
still, holy moly. Man, that's
I
crazy.
I don't know how it feels if you make a song, then 20 years later, someone makes a hit song
Mhm,
utilizing what you wrote. Maybe you do I would get why you would feel entitled
mhm.
to say, "I deserve something from this because you're using my
Yeah.
stuff."
Mhm,
And if you interpolate someone's lyrics I was actually talking to someone who does the law side of music labels,
mhm,
and if Jay-Z uses a line from Slick Rick, they
mhm,
have to reach out to Slick Rick's people and
mhm.
compensate him. Then now Slick Rick is a writer on that song.
Yeah.
So I think he uses like a Playboy Cardi song, so people saw that Playboy Cardi was credited, like, "Whoa,
Mhm.
why is he credited?" It's because he
Yeah.
interpolated his lyrics, so you gotta credit him.
Yeah, and that's just a good team, right? So for Olivia Rodrigo, her unique scenario was the fact that she had the credits after it got big, after it
Yeah,
got those numbers and streams. So she had to, I'm pretty sure she also had to include fees and penalties and things like that for not including it
yeah.
beforehand. And I think that
That's
has to
why
be the label's fault, right? I wouldn't to me, it's not Olivia
yeah,
Rodrigo who copied. It's the team and the industry producers around her who literally gave her the beat and
yeah.
whatnot and the ideas to make it.
I don't Yeah, I don't even know if she wrote the song.
Mhm.
If she didn't
She
write it,
did.
it's
Respect
definitely
to
not her
Olivia,
fault.
she did. She
She
did
wrote she
write it.
wrote she wrote it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the label's fault. That's why you
Mhm.
get a label because they have the backing of all these
Mhm.
they have a whole law unit that is their job is to find
Mhm.
these samples and figure it out. That
Yeah.
sucks because it probably coulda got figured out beforehand
Mhm.
and worked out better.
Yeah, and basically
That
within the
sucks.
interview as well, basically they asked her, "How do you feel about that, and did that affect your process making her upcoming album, Guts?" And she said, "Of course, like, it's whatever. I learned what the
Yeah.
realities of the business industry are, right? I'm a lot more smarter. I was naive." And her recent song, if you heard of it, Vampire, it's been, like, everywhere, blowing up on
Oh, yeah,
TikTok and
yeah, yeah,
whatnot.
no.
Great song, by
Yeah.
the way. And people are insinuating that the song has a diss towards Taylor. She's the
Really?
bloodsucker
Oh, yeah.
because,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw it.
she I won't talk about the
So
drama, but
hey,
you know what it is,
sometimes
right?
sometimes artists use lyrics not even knowing that they're
Mhm,
using other person's words. They just
mhm.
subconsciously are like, "Oh, this sounds good."
Yep.
It's like, "Oh, it's probably because you heard it in a Jay-Z song."
Yeah.
So that's like so this kid I was talking to who works for the law side of the label
Mhm.
was saying that some of the people he works with are so good at hearing samples, like, they just have that
Wow.
skill, they hear a line and they know, like, that wasn't your line. Like, we gotta figure out who wrote that.
Man.
But
But
you
hey,
would think they have some type of program where you enter the song in and it could, like,
I was
figure
gonna
out
say with
the
AI,
sample.
they probably could or can figure out the chord progression or
Yeah.
anything like that. Whew, scary hours, man. But that Olivia Rodrigo album, I forget what day it drops. Let me check it out real quick. Guts release date. The reason I say that, September 8th. Oh shoot, wow. So this week.
Alright.
You were hyping up Travis and his sales. I guess that was looking me too.
Yeah.
But I
He
think
sold
she's gonna
well.
have the biggest sales week for this year,
Unless
I think.
unless unless Drake swoops in right now and drops this week too.
Do you think people are still obviously people are still listening to Drake, but I don't think how
Yeah.
much did he sell
Now
for
it's gonna be
CLB?
huge.
Like 600,000? Yeah, about
Yeah, it's a lot.
600,000. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he comes in with the Cole feature, it's over. It's over. But there is a Yachty feature on the
Mhm,
album, and I don't wanna use this program to be
mhm,
hating on people, but I do not understand the Yachty love. He's good. There's certain
mhm,
songs he's fine, but I saw a tweet because J.I.D and him finally dropped Van Gogh,
mhm.
that song, which is amazing,
Yep.
and someone said, "Do you want a whole album of J.I.D and Yachty?" And people are like, "Yes, we need it." I don't wanna hear J.I.D bar out
Who's
Yachty
we?
on every song,
Who's we? You
but
mean Nintendo?
because yeah, because bro, J.I.D killed him on that song. He's
Yeah,
just too skilled at rapping.
he is.
I don't
Yeah. And I know you showed me that song earlier too, and it was one of the
yeah.
unreleased tracks that he finally put out. Hopefully, you hear more for
Come here.
J.I.D. Lil Yachty, I don't even mind him so much because I feel like he's more of a not an influencer, but just he's I don't know, I don't know a
A
word for
cultural I
the
know what you mean.
like
Like
an
cultural,
icon. He's
like
like some type of icon,
yeah,
funny comedian,
but
everything, and he is
yeah.
talented, right? The album he dropped, right? Everyone was laughing, saying like, "Oh, it's not that good, and it's gonna be topped by something else." The ironic thing is that Yachty album is probably one of the best rap albums to drop this year.
People people love it just because
Mhm.
alternative rock. It
Oh, it's
sounds good,
amazing.
but I just think his parts are the parts that don't sound as good compared to the features that are on it and the music
100%.
going on.
The features definitely
But
did carry, but
him and Drake are like best friends now, so he's
yep.
featured on the album, and there's a video coming out, Cole Bennett, ex Drake,
Ooh,
ex Yachty, which is sick.
okay.
Shout out Cole Bennett.
Alright, hopefully this Drake album is good. I'm keeping my hopes low because I know we're not gonna get that
Yeah.
2015 Drake again. But
But you know what?
another mhm,
I re-listened to CLB. I was
yep,
skipping through it,
don't
and
say it.
even though
Don't
in
say
no
it.
way does it in no way does it sound like a cohesive album. Like,
Oh,
there's no reason for the, song, like, "We're gonna feed the streets," that one with 21
Yep,
Savage should
yep,
not be on it. That being said,
mhm.
there are a lot of amazing songs on that album.
Ugh,
You gotta look at it as a playlist. Like,
I
Champagne
don't
Poetry,
know.
the first song, great, like, "I love you, I love you, I love" Pipe Down, amazing song.
Without
The one with Lil
J.Cole, just
Durk,
saying.
yeah, the one with Lil Durk is fire.
Okay.
It's he makes like every album, if he drops this, you're gonna find 4 songs that you're gonna love, which is impressive. There's always a bunch of good songs, and there's gonna be some whack ones. That's just what Drake does.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's looking back at it, how many quality songs are on this album, and I think it's just because Drake's career has been so long, right? It's been so
Yeah.
long. I already know what to expect. Like Love All featuring Jay-Z. He's done that before. The what is it called? Paris. On Nothing Was the Same, the last track.
I can't think about what it's called.
Paris
I don't know what it's
something.
called.
But basically, he's done something similar already. So I think my expectations were pretty low for it. But it's an amazing song.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. CLB is actually nice for what it is. It's still one of Drake's worst projects, in my opinion, though. But
Yeah.
or at least my least favorite. Another artist who's dropping, as well is Doja Cat, right? She's dropping on
Yeah.
September 22nd. She's already done a rollout with Attention. Song is absolutely fire. The next one was Paint the Town Red, which I was like, "Okay." And there was I thought
It's
it was
honestly
cool.
that chorus is stuck in my head. "Ooh, she the devil, she a
Yeah.
bad little bitch, she a rebel." It's in my
It's a
head.
catchy chorus, but I couldn't get the fact that she used the Walk On By sample, and when I hear the
Yeah.
Walk On By sample, you know who I think of first, right? Logic, Logic, who
Yeah,
absolutely
okay, I was
obliterated.
making sure because I also think of
Yeah,
that.
obliterated. But I still like the song. It's catchy, but it's kind of weird she made a song like that when before she was talking about how I'm gonna make this niche hip
I
hop
know.
album that's not gonna be pop. And it had some like devil imagery and whatnot, and people are talking about it. But then she went all out for this new song called Demons.
Okay.
I personally don't like the song. I just don't like that
It's
style. And
it's
also the video, I stayed away. In Jesus' name, amen. I don't need
yeah.
that in my life.
I will say so my opinions on this, I don't give a fuck about the demon stuff.
Mhm.
I just think that it's not creative.
Okay.
For someone who's been hyping up this album as this is
Mhm.
the album that she's gonna be rapping her ass off
Mhm.
on. She made like a Baby Keem type song,
Mhm.
and it's just so many artists have utilized that devil aesthetic.
Mhm.
Like Lil Nas X literally 3 years ago got
Yeah.
in trouble for his like
Mhm.
demonic stuff. So it's just like not creative. I don't really care that
Sorry.
I don't give a fuck that it's the devil.
Lil Nas X
It's
took it
just
too
that
far though. He was like selling like double blood.
yeah, he was twerking on the devil. That was funny though. Fuck it.
Oh man.
That Call Me By You Want, Call Me When You Need It, is that song.
I know it's another
But
artist too. I can't remember. It was Lil Nas X and one more big artist
it's
before Doja. Oh,
I
Sam
mean, so
Smith.
many I just in general, so many people have done that
Mhm,
throughout history
mhm,
that I'm just like, I just think it's played out. I don't
mhm,
really care the fact that it's, like, anti-religion.
mhm.
I just expected more for this. So, yeah, that
Yeah,
new song is just very Baby Keem-ish, and it's not rapping. Like, where's this
yeah,
Alchemist song? We're all waiting for
exactly.
the Alchemist song.
And that's what we're hungry for, and she has made such a big deal, especially with dissing her fans and whatnot, to make it seem like
Yeah,
this album's gonna be spectacular, and your feelings are also being reflected with Punch from TDE. He said, "The demonic influence is getting more and more blatant in this thing. The gradualism was numbing, now it's just out loud. It was written," with his deep, poetic words.
yeah,
But people are kinda blasting him too as well because, for example, hip hop, right? Hip hop isn't holy. There's a lot of things in hip hop about, like, drug use
yeah.
and killing people and fighting your
Very
ops.
much not. Yeah.
You what and so it's if
Yeah.
people are talking about, well, this is a problem, what about hip hop? And the kind of dual-edged sword of how hip hop can also promote awful things, but also good things. Kendrick Lamar said the same thing on Blacker the Berry, on The Biggest Hypocrite of 2015, and then also
Yeah.
the, what was it?
'Cause gang
The
banging make me
freestyle,
killer.
Heart Part 5. So that's another
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, it is an interesting conundrum of,
Mhm,
like, listening to, like I mean, I listen to music that's the darkest, most evil shit, like, Freddie Gibbs will say the craziest stuff on a song, and I eat it up, but it's I don't like, the devil stuff's just not creative,
mhm,
I've seen it before, and I wanted something new, but at the end of the day, it's mu like, she's not preaching evil stuff, it just happens to be
mhm,
the aesthetic that she's just shooting
yeah.
for,
Well, she's
'cause
definitely
she's
on
all
a
weird.
unique journey right now, if I could put it
Yeah.
politely. Uh But a lot of people have been gassing up the music video as well. Music videos have kind of
The
been
video's cool.
right? So music videos are
It is
obviously
cool.
important in music, but it seems like it's not as impactful like back when MTV days were popping.
Yeah.
But I still think Doja Cat's
But
doing a good job leading the pack, and I think a few other artists as well. Tyler, right?
yeah. I
Mhm.
wanna shout out I think I sent you out in the Jungle.
Mhm.
Back on 74 is the coolest video I've ever seen.
Mhm.
It's just a bunch of dancers, and it's choreographed so well, and the song is just amazing.
I still need to see it.
I'm
That's
loving
on
it.
me. That's on me.
Back on 74,
TikTok
call
song you
this
discovered,
place
right?
my yeah,
Hey man.
and it was great. I've actually discovered another group, Cherry Ferrari.
Okay.
I think I actually might have sent it to you too. They,
Send it
like,
my
were
way. Mhm.
making TikToks where they were just going to music stores and playing their, like, new single on a piano, and it got so much love, they released an acoustic version of the song, which I think is so
Mm.
much better than the original song, and it's fire.
Hey, shout out to all the TikTok artists making it big. And honestly, I don't wanna call
Yes,
them
sir.
TikTok artists. That's disrespectful.
No,
They're
they just happen
artists.
to use TikTok.
Exactly,
Who
and you
use
have
TikTok.
to alright, like, we were talking about earlier how hard
Yeah,
it is to make it in the industry and how you barely get paid anything at all, so you gotta be using your tools, right, to make it
yeah,
through. Another thing that popped up on the TL was the ScHoolboy Q interview. One, because what was the first thing? Oh, yeah. So, basically, they're trying to gas him up and try to say he might be the best from TDE, but he shut it down immediately. He was like,
yeah,
"No, K Dot is not only the best, he's the greatest of all time, dead or alive." He goes on to say, "Kendrick not only pulled me to the side and tell him like you're slipping, you're messing up your opportunities right now." And it was Kendrick who was the one who kept pulling him in, who forced him to be his hype man, and he would tell me to come to the studio all the time. We're in the studio. We're in the studio. You got to get the verse ready, right? He was the one
yeah,
pushing Schoolboy Q to be where he is at today. So my first question to you, and it's kind of silly. I think by now we kind of know: is Kendrick
yeah.
the greatest of all time or not? And then also Schoolboy Q, where does he rank in, I think, this era of rappers? And I remember that Double XL with a bunch of different top tier rappers, and I think
Yeah.
he's one of the best to come about.
No, he's great.
Mhm,
For Kendrick, if someone said Kendrick was the best of all time, I wouldn't debate
mhm,
them. Like, yeah, no, I get it. And we
mhm,
talked about this before, and I was trying to figure out the way to describe Kendrick's rapping style,
mhm,
and he's just very metaphorical.
mhm,
Nothing is straightforward. So you could listen to a whole song and literally have no idea what he said, but the flow is so good because he's so good at making a conscious message make it sound very catchy.
mhm.
So sometimes you'll hear a song, you're like, "What the fuck did that guy just say?" Because everything's a metaphor, nothing's straightforward. Not
Yeah.
to say J.Cole raps in a straightforward way,
Mhm,
but it's really easy to understand what J.Cole's saying, following a story by J.Cole, but, like, Lupe Fiasco, another very metaphorical rapper.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, they rap in, like, it's more
Yeah,
poetry than
yeah.
it is, like, spitting bars. So, at the end of the day, it goes to who you prefer, like, what type of artist. So, like, I kinda like the J. Cole, Jay-Z, Biggie, like, straightforward, you're following it and, like, you can see it, but there's also the amazing poetry, like, Chance the Rapper talks in metaphors and, like, biblical
Yeah, yeah,
stories,
for
you know what I
sure.
mean?
And I think that speaks volumes for Kendrick too, right? The fact he can speak in that way, yet he's still making sales, he's still making hits.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's crazy that I'll have friends who love a Kendrick song, I'm like, "Oh, if you like this, you would like a lot more of this underground
Yeah,
music," because he's doing really weird stuff, but just because it's Kendrick, people accept it more,
facts.
which is always just really interesting.
And that's what
I think it's so
sucks.
crazy how big he is.
That's what kinda hurts my heart a little bit when everyone's music taste is based off what a company or what society kind of tells them. I feel like music discovery isn't as prominent anymore because back then you really had to go and dig and find things. Now
Yeah,
you have an AI machine giving you recommendations, playlistings where you can find new songs, but no one's really putting in the effort to
yeah,
really discover new artists. And the only reason you're gonna mess with an artist, right, is because they told you so. TikTok told you so. This person's popping when there's so many other artists
yeah,
like, I can think of Morgan Gore on the top of my head who's killing it, but, it's hard to
yeah,
get the traffic towards her, and that's really
yeah.
frustrating.
I will say Spotify's recommendations
Mhm.
are really, really good, and if you go to a
Defeating my purpose.
yeah,
They're really
if
good, though.
you
Don't hate,
go
don't hate.
if you go, say, like, you clicked on, like, a Griselda song, then click, like, the radio station based on
Mhm,
that song, they'll have
mhm.
a bunch of pretty small artists who are on there that I'll hear and I'll add
Okay.
to a playlist of random people, so I'll
Mhm.
shout them. Apple Music, I use it, sucks. It's
Yeah, but I know for me, I'm not a huge playlist person, so that's why I like Apple. It's already on my phone. I have an Apple iPhone, so
yeah.
I just keep it a buck. Yep,
I feel
and
that.
then
Like,
yep,
if I'm at the gym and I hear, like, a song, I'll just go to the
mhm.
radio because hopefully, all the songs will be, like, hyper compared to, like, that song.
That's facts. Hey, I still have a Spotify though. I
Facts.
have both. I just don't pay for the Spotify. It's a free account. But another thing Schoolboy Q talked about is why he hasn't dropped, right? The last project he dropped was
Yeah.
Crash Talk. A lot of I say critique on that album, not people's favorite. I think it was overhated. I think it was an alright project. But he said, "We never looked at the industry as a sport. That is our life. Me talking about our situations and the shit we've been through, the homies we lost, the trauma. You can't compare that to the NBA championship that happens every year. So when it comes to music, I don't look at it like you have to drop every year, Adam. I do what I want because I move
I
off
say
my
every 2 years.
experiences. It's my art. That's a big thing he said, and mixed messages from Twitter. People are hating on him, saying he sounds entitled. Rappers are sounding entitled for not giving the fans what they want. But I'm on the side of the artists. They aren't entitled
No,
to drop.
that
They can drop whatever they
no,
want, right? Hmm.
that point makes 100% sense. I'm just
Hmm.
always curious about, like, how they make money when they're not, like, the biggest artists in the world. But, like, that'd be nice if we interviewed one of them, like, I'd be
Yeah,
actually curious to see how they make money,
yeah.
but, I get it. I like the because NBA, I think, is
Hmm.
always a big comparison for rap music, and there's so
Hmm.
much overlap between the 2.
Hmm.
But, yeah, it doesn't necessarily like, they might not all view as a debate or a competition.
Hmm.
If you're rapping about someone who passed away, your best friend, you're not viewing this as a competition, you're viewing this as, "This was my album to talk about how my best friend died," or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Like, how could you compare my torture that I've been through to this person's torture? It's like debating trauma, like, whose trauma was, like, the sound the best this
yeah.
year.
It's
So
facts.
I get from that context, like, what
Hmm.
he meant by that. So, yeah, I mean, go off, Schoolboy Q. We're ready
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, and what has it been? 2019. So yeah, it's been a couple years,
Yeah.
4 years. Hopefully hear from him soon. I'm still waiting on this ASAP Rocky album. That's another big
Yeah,
album
he
I've
said
been waiting
August,
for.
and
August?
he ain't dropped. He said August, now it's September, so
Oh shoot, that's what I was thinking. I'm like August. My brain was like frozen there. I'm like
yeah.
August. Didn't August already pass? Where's the
Yeah,
album, G?
he just had a kid.
Hmm.
Kid Cudi just moved his album back to January, so we're not gonna get that. He released, like, 2 singles yesterday that I
Okay.
didn't think sounded good, but we're getting Georgia. Yeah, it wasn't great. Georgia Smith
Mhm.
dropping soon. I'm trying to think who else I know is dropping soon.
For me, all I care about is Doja. I want to hear the Olivia
Doja.
Rodrigo album, ASAP Rocky. I think that's on my radar right now. Who's dropping? And Drake, if he wants to drop whatever, I know he's gonna drop. When Drake says Drake is the most
Yeah,
consistent rapper. When he says I'm gonna drop, he drops. He's not like Kanye or anything like that. So we'll get it
yeah,
whenever we get it.
definitely not. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, I honestly respect the Drake. He feeds
Hmm.
the people.
I
I just
guess.
need
I
him to stop
guess.
talking about, like, some of the stuff. He's like a 38-year-old. Like, come on, man. I'm a lesbian, me too. Like, I don't need
That's
that.
grown man with a kid, man. But the last thing I wanted to talk about, if you see on the news too, the whole Burning Man situation, how people are stuck in
Yeah.
California desert and like they
What
can't leave
is
or
it a
come in.
I still have to look at what is Burning Man? It's not a music festival. It's just people that listen to music and, like, go to this place?
Um, okay, I feel like it's a music festival, but it's like
I thought it
EDM
was.
wise, and all I really know about Burning Man is people just go there for self-discovery. We all know what that
Yeah,
is,
that's
just
what I
getting
yeah.
blasted out of their minds. And now it's looking slow for them. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not
Yeah,
a
can't get
huge
out.
fan of
This
festivals. Like I like festivals, right? But I
they're
don't know y'all
tiring.
people. It's tiring, exhausting,
Nah,
everything's
it's
expensive.
it's a lot, and in order to get close enough to see the artist you wanna see, you have to, like, not drink any water. You have to be at the front of the stage the whole day
Hmm.
to see the headlining act. It's awesome from the sense that you pay $200 to see more artists than you ever
Mhm,
could have seen for the same price of a single concert, but it hurts your feet. And if, like, when I was in high school, you'd drink and go, but then
mhm.
you'd be, like, sober by 3 o'clock and tired as fuck because you drank so much in the morning to see, like, these artists. So that festivals weren't always my favorite.
Yeah.
But it also happened Electric Zoo in New
Mhm.
York City, which is a
Mm.
EDM festival,
Okay.
was supposed to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they had to cancel Friday because the stages weren't ready yet.
Was
Like, they
that
didn't build the
recent?
stage completely. Yeah, it's this weekend.
Did they give a refund to people, or did they snatch it and
Yeah,
smash it?
they almost had to
Okay.
no, they gave refunds. They almost had it
Okay.
canceled Saturday.
Mhm.
My friends won it. They said it was awesome, but yeah, a lot of these issues Made in America got canceled this year, which is like the Philadelphia festival,
Yeah, isn't that
because
like Jay-Z or something, or
it's Jay-Z's festival, but he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
always perform. But the headliners were Lizzo and someone else who respectfully does not draw a big crowd. Like,
Mhm.
it used to be such a big festival, and I think they had such low ticket sales, they canceled it. That's not what
Yeah,
they said, but I think that's why.
and I'm happy you brought about Jay-Z, and we'll end it after this segment. LL Cool J, he was doing his performance, shout to Longevity, right? And it was
Yeah,
kinda blasting rappers who don't wanna be called rappers, wanna act mysterious, right? Back then, being a rapper was a badge. It's why so many OG
yeah,
rappers carry it with honor. But a lot of rappers now, they
yeah,
don't wanna be called rappers, they wanna be called artists, and also they wanna act mysterious and not get on the stage. And he also mentioned Jay-Z and somewhat like, "Jay-Z, you need to get on the stage too," because Jay-Z isn't really rapping as much anymore. And I feel like some people feel like Jay-Z sometimes sees himself as bigger than the culture, that he doesn't need to rap or he doesn't need to be participating in anything, even the Super Bowl, he could have been in it, but he was like, "Nah,
yeah.
I just sit in my, $1,000,000, top section row
It's
and,
a
drink Douce,
it's
whatever."
It's interesting because I don't know what
Mhm,
I would do if I've
mhm,
had, like, 10 albums come out and I have
yeah,
$1,000,000,000 and I have kids.
mhm,
Like, he has a life, and he has a huge business that he's running, like, I get it, and,
mhm,
I mean, he drops more than some of our other favorite artists, bro, he might drop
yeah,
more than Kendrick.
yeah,
Like,
uh,
low key, there's a lot of guest verses from Jay-Z that come out.
it's facts, and I remember a funny thing, Eminem signed this, new guy to his label along with Dr. Dre. He's pretty decent rapper. I haven't really dived into his discog that much, but
Yeah.
I forget his name, honestly.
Low
Eminem
key,
new he signed him to Shady.
they I think I know
Easy.
who
His
you're
name
talking
is
about.
Easy Mill. Easy Mill. He's a great he's a really good
Oh,
rapper.
yeah. I did hear that song. They
Yep.
low key have, like, a good maybe they don't represent the artist the best
Mhm.
way in history,
Yeah,
but, yeah,
facts.
I love West Side Boogie. They obviously
Mhm.
signed Griselda,
Yep.
um, so they've done well with, like, finding the people. Maybe not just
They
Cole, like,
have ears.
Grip's great.
I think Eminem is just tired, and I don't know, but either way, the point I brought them up was because on his verse feature, Eminem kind of slapped back at the game who dissed him earlier, and he said, The only reason you're talking so much about me because 'cause you're still performing in the club, right? You're hating on the song "In the
Yeah,
Club" by 50 because 'cause you're still performing in the club,
yeah,
and it just kinda reminds me of when you're so big like Jay-Z, you don't really have to perform as much, I guess. He's already doing so many things
yeah,
outside. LL Cool J, I don't know what he's got going on as well, not even to pocket watch,
yeah,
but maybe you just have to perform because that's what you got at the moment, but Jay-Z, he
yeah.
has
I
a
think
million things at the moment.
I think he was more coming from the 50th year of hip hop perspective.
Mhm.
Like, we're doing this huge concert in New York City. You should have came out to
Yeah.
support hip hop because hip hop is what
Facts.
got you to escape your predicament.
Mhm.
And I heard, it was Sway. Someone was talking like that shit to me. It was Rob Markman. But like, yeah, a lot of rappers didn't say anything for the 50th birthday of hip
Mhm.
hop. And it's like this is your livelihood.
Yeah.
You better shout it out.
Hey, I told you,
50
man,
years, baby.
this generation, they don't care. But like I said before, hip hop, I think, is at its peak slash downward slope, and I think like
Yeah.
pop is
Well,
gonna take over again.
something funny that I sent you,
Mhm,
it was a tweet that said the next generation of rappers. It had J.I.D at top, and J.I.D is like 30 years old.
mhm,
And then there was another tweet I saw that said, "Who's the Chief Keef of this generation?" But low key, Chief Keef is like
mhm.
26. He's just
Yeah,
been
he's young.
popular for so
Mhm,
long because he was 16 when he started rapping. So I
yeah,
thought that was really funny. Like, I love J.I.D,
mhm,
debatably like my second favorite rapper of all
mhm.
time. But I don't know if he's the new generation of rappers.
Especially since he's already old and he's been in the game forever.
Like,
I'm
he's
telling you,
yeah,
man, it's scary hours. You guys let us know who's the next up and coming rapper. The only person I can vouch is Jack Harlow, but I don't see him. I
Redville's
don't.
fire.
Redville's fire, but do you think he's gonna be a superstar? Be
Oh,
honest.
I mean, I don't think anyone's to be a
Okay,
superstar.
that's a
So
disrespectful Loki. Red you can't just predict his career like that, and Redville's incredible.
yeah.
So let me take that back. But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I just think being a superstar is dumb, but
Mhm.
there's some good youngins out there.
Yeah, like
I
who?
know that there's off the top shit.
Hey, we'll wrap it up.
A
There ain't
lot of
no good
people.
young boys. No hip hop is finished. Okay, we'll see you guys later on the next episode. I appreciate you guys for tuning to the very end. Check out the website too.
Peace.
So I gotta finish that article I said from last week. I'll get done with it.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys later. Man, see ya.